Hi everyone and welcome to another Doctor Who figure review by me, Meg Shots, and today I'll be reviewing another Forbidden Planet exclusive classic series figure set, and this time up it's the Sontaran Experiment Collector's set, which I recently got from one of the Forbidden Planet websites. And I'll be talking about the figures and the pod in more detail later on in the video, but first of all I'm going to show you some pictures of the packaging. Okay, so if we take a look at the front, we can see the big plastic window, so you can see the two figures and the pod inside. And on the sides you've got pictures of the 4th Doctor and Sontaran Field Major Styre, and also there's a little bit of information about what the set contains, and there's also an Underground Toys logo at the bottom right, along with another Doctor Who logo. And moving on to the side of the packaging, we can see pictures of Sontaran Field Major Styre and also a little bit more information about what the set includes. And if we take a look at the back, we can see some information about the 4th Doctor as played by Tom Baker. And it also tells you about what happened in the Sontaran experiment. Also in the top corners, it tells you how many years each Doctor was in Doctor Who for. And then at the bottom, we got the same usual helpful product and company information. Okay, so here we have the figures and the pod from the set. As you can see behind them, there is a background which comes with the packaging, and it's a really nice picture of some of the scenery from the Sontaran experiment, and I think this is really good if you're doing scene recreations and photography with these figures. Now, the 4th Doctor figure in this set does have quite a lot of parts from some of the previous 4th Doctor figures, but the clothing on the torso is made from a completely new sculpt. The pod is completely new as well, and also Sontaran Field Major Styre is completely new as well. Now, as I said before, the first figure I'm going to review is the 4th Doctor, so let's get started. Okay, so here we have Doctor number 4 in his outfit from the Sontaran experiment. Now, I think this is a really nice variant to have in the collection. It's quite similar to the Pyramids of Mars 4th Doctor figure. That's probably because the coats look really similar, but there are quite a few differences between this one and that one, by the way. Like, this one's wearing a normal tie, whereas the Pyramids of Mars one is wearing a cravat, I believe. Now, as I said earlier in the video, this 4th Doctor figure does have quite a few parts on previous 4th Doctor figures, like the head sculpt, which was first used for the Seeds of Doom 4th Doctor figure last year in the 11 Doctor set, the hands, which have always been the same, and also the trousers and shoes, which haven't been changed, I don't think. They might have been repainted on this one, I'm not 100% sure on that. So some parts of this figure are old, but the clothing on the torso is made from a completely new sculpt, so I'll go into quite a lot of detail about that later on in the video. Now, I did have a little bit of a scare with this figure when I first got out of the packaging, because in the packaging its head was like that when I got in the post, so I was a bit worried, and then when I opened it up, it just popped off like that. But as you can see, this 4th Doctor figure does have the peg on top of the head, so you can just really easily put it back on. So if your one has a removable head, you can take the scarf off, put the head back on, and you can have the 4th Doctor without the scarf. That's if you want that, that is. There is that bit of grey plastic there, which does stand out a bit though. I'll just put his scarf back on and then reattach Mr. Tom Baker's head. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the detail and the paintwork. Okay, so let's take a look at his head sculpt. Now, as I said before, this is the same head sculpt as the one that we saw on the Seeds of Doom Fourth Doctor figure last year. However, the hat on this one has been repainted from green to brown, and also the lips on this Fourth Doctor's face appear to be a little bit darker than the ones on the 11th Doctor set Fourth Doctor figure. Now, he does have that same shocked or upset facial expression, which I do like, but I think it is a little bit too shocked. Perhaps if it was a bit more solemn, I would like it a bit more. But the likeness to Tom Baker is really excellent. His face looks just like his, and you've got his brilliant curly hair, which has been painted with lots of shades of brown, and his hat at the top is quite nice with the black belt going over the middle of it with the big crease in the middle there. So the head sculpt is really good. Maybe a little bit better if it was a bit more solemn with the facial expression, but it's still okay for me. Now, his scarf is really amazing. They've done a great job with all the colours. It's really highly detailed as well. You can see the texture on it to make it feel like it is actually made from actual material, but it is made out of a rubbery plastic. And when you rub your fingers down it, it's quite bumpy. It's not smooth like you might think it would be. It is exactly the same as the scarf on the Wave 1 Fourth Doctor figure, I believe, and it is the same length as the one on the Wave 1 Fourth Doctor figure, I believe, because in the Fourth Doctor Adventure set, they re-released the Wave 1 Fourth Doctor figure, but that re-release had a slightly shorter scarf, but I think this one has the same length as the Wave 1 Tom Baker figure scarf. And now we shall take a look at his duffel coat and other clothing. Now, as I said earlier in the video, the clothing on the torso, apart from the scarf, is made from a completely new sculpt. Now, we can see that his necktie has been painted a orangey brown colour. Now, the tie that the Fourth Doctor wore in the Sontaran experiment was actually light green. So I'm not sure why the tie on this Fourth Doctor variant from the Sontaran experiment is a orangey brown colour. I mean, it's a nice colour, but I would prefer it if it was light green like it was in the episode, so it would be a bit more accurate. I think the necktie is just the same sculpt as the one on the Wave 1 Fourth Doctor figure, by the way. His duffel coat is really nice. I think it's a purpley brown colour, because when I looked at it in the light recently, I think it looked purple. I mean, through the camera now, it might look brown, but I think it has got a shade of purple to it, and it is really nice. We can see that under the coat, there is his red jacket as well, which I believe is meant to be a separate jacket, because I think in the Sontaran experiment he actually wore a duffel coat over his red jacket, which we saw on the Wave 1 Fourth Doctor figure. Sorry if I'm confusing you at the moment, it's the only way I can explain it, really. As I was saying, the duffel coat is really good. You've got loads of creases and folds on it, and the colours that they've used for it are very accurate. This is what it looks like from the back. So the clothing on the torso, absolutely brilliant. They've done a really good job with adding the detail to it and painting it. However, my only criticism would be that the Fourth Doctor's tie really should be light green instead. Okay, so if we take a look at his trousers, we can see that they are a light bluey grey colour, and they are really nice with all the creases that they got. These help to make them look really nice and lifelike, and he's got a really nice, highly detailed pair of shoes here with lots of bits of dirt on them, and also the detail of the laces. At the bottom there's just the usual trademark and copyright information, but as you can see they have been painted black because they probably were like that in the episode. So, like any other Fourth Doctor figure, this variant is absolutely covered with detail and absolutely superb paintwork from head to toe. Okay, so his head can turn from side to side. It probably would be able to do a 360-degree turn if the scarf or the duffel coat was not in the way, and like I said earlier in the video, it can pop off, so if you want to do some head swaps or just take it off for any reason whatsoever, to perhaps remove the scarf or something, you can do that. His arms can turn 360 degrees at the shoulders, they can swivel 360 degrees at the biceps, bend up at the elbows, and both hands can turn 360 degrees. Lower body articulation now, he can move from the waist a bit, both legs can go outwards a bit but not far because of the duffel coat, and they can both move backwards and forwards on the top, swivel 360 degrees at the thighs, and also bend at the knees. So that's all the articulation on this Fourth Doctor figure, the same as usual, so there are plenty of joints that you can use to put the figure into lots of different poses for stop motion animations, figure adventures, and also figure photography. And overall, I think this Fourth Doctor figure is a really nice variant for my collection. I do like the head sculpt a lot because it has a really good likeness of Tom Baker, and I like the repainted hat as well because it's accurate to the one he wore in the episode, and I really love the detail and the paintwork on the rest of the clothing on the figure, especially on the scarf, the clothing beneath his duffel coat, and on the duffel coat itself. I think his shoes are absolutely fantastic as well. Articulation is just fine the way it is, and out of 10 I give the Fourth Doctor from the Sontaran experiment a very well earned 9 out of 10. It's a really nice variant to have in the collection, great detail, great articulation, and really nice sculpting. However, I do think this variant would have been better if the necktie was a light green colour like it was in the episode, because then this figure would be a bit more accurate. But other than that, I think this is a absolutely fantastic figure, and that if you're getting this figure set, then you really should look forward to welcoming this guy into your collection. Okay, so now I'm going to review the sonic screwdriver accessory. Okay, so here we have the Fourth Doctor sonic screwdriver. Now this is just the same as usual, I believe. Sorry about that loss of focus, I'll just get it back in. There we go. We can see that most of it is silver, but then you've got the black bit just under the red bit at the top, and it has all the detail that it needs, and it easily fits into the Fourth Doctor's right hand. And out of 10, I give the Fourth Doctor sonic screwdriver a very well earned 10 out of 10 as usual, because it's been painted really carefully and it has all the detail that it needs. Okay, so here we have Sontaran Field Major Styre. Now this figure is completely new. No parts of this figure are from any other figure which has been released in the Doctor Who figure range so far, and he comes with 2 accessories, one of which is a little gun and the other is a removable helmet. Now first of all I'm going to talk about detail, the paintwork and the sculpt. Okay, so if we bring Sontaran Field Major Styre in for a close-up, we can see that his head sculpt is absolutely brilliant. They've given him a really good likeness to Styre. They've given him those dark green lips with that really creepy smile and the little beady eyes. The rest of his potato head is really nicely detailed as well. You've got the creases on the forehead there, even the little vein just by his left ear there, and some more lines on the back of his head there. Also on the neck piece we can see the little probic vent as well. Now if we take a look at the rest of Sontaran Field Major Styre's body armour, we can see loads of creases on the dark parts of it, and if we move down, we can see that Sontaran Field Major Styre has all 4 fingers and also a thumb. Now, fans of the new series, like myself, will know that the Sontarans in the new series had only 3 fingers, but back then in the classic series, they had 5 fingers, so that's probably something to do with their evolution or their cloning. Anyway, back to the detail. On his belt, we can see his special device, which I'm not sure if he does actually use in the episode because I haven't seen the Sontaran experiment, but I know that Sontaran links in the Time Warrior, which John Pertwee story, used this device in that episode. So if anyone can tell me what this is and what it's used for, please let me know in the comment section below. His belt is really nice. It's quite bumpy and very shiny silver as well. And we can see that he is wearing these big, long, dark boots. Now, these are made from quite a hard plastic, as you can see. They don't have much detail on them, though. There is these several sections here and a little bit more detail at the bottom there. Now, unfortunately, these boots do make the figure a bit hard to stand up, so that is a bit annoying, but they are accurate, I believe, so I don't have many problems with that. You just have to be careful with the way you stand the figure up to avoid it falling. So, as we have just seen, this figure is absolutely covered in detail. They've done a really, really good job with this one. As usual, the head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. It has an absolutely brilliant likeness of Styre with that creepy smile, tiny little details on the head. His armour is really good as well. I love the shiny look that it has and all the creases on it, which helps make it look very lifelike. And I think the people that have made this figure have just put so much work and effort into making this figure, and all these good little things about the detail on the sculpt come together to make a really fantastic figure. His head can turn 360 degrees like so. Both arms can do a 360 degree turn at the shoulders. They can swivel a bit at the biceps, but because the joints have been put up so high on the figure, they can't do a 360 degree turn. But the arms can still bend up at the elbows, and both hands can turn 360 degrees. A little stiff on my one at the moment, though. He has waist articulation, where he can turn 360 degrees, and at the legs he can move, and the legs can move outwards on the top, go backwards and forwards on the top, swivel at the thighs 360 degrees, and also bend at. Okay, so that is all of Styre's articulation. I think it is absolutely fine the way it is. I don't have any problems with it. There are some stiff joints on my one, but I should be able to get them sorted somehow in the future sometime soon. And overall, I think Sontaran Field Major Styre is a absolutely brilliant figure. It's clear that the people that made this figure put so much time and effort into making this figure, by putting on all those little details on the head sculpt and the clothing, and I think the paintwork on the figure is absolutely superb. No issues on my one whatsoever, and the detail and the articulation is just absolutely brilliant. The likeness to Styre is spot on this figure, and the clothing is 100% accurate in my eyes anyway. So out of 10, I feel Sontaran Field Major Styre deserves a very well earned 10 out of 10. A really excellent Sontaran figure to add to the collection, and a fantastic brand new figure. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at his removable helmet. Not very detailed at all. You've just got this line bit going over the middle and the 2 holes for the eyes there at the front. Now, it is a little bit difficult putting this on the figure, unfortunately, but I did manage to do it recently, so I don't have any problems with that. I've just got to do it in the right way, really. So this gets a 10 out of 10. Absolutely fine the way it is. Just you might experience some problems putting it on the figure, but as I said, you just need to do it the right way, really. And now I'm going to talk about his little gun accessory. Okay, so here we have Styre's gun accessory. Now, this isn't very detailed. It's quite a simple accessory, really, with just a few colours. But we can see the trigger there, where his fingers are, and also the two little bits at the top, and then the golf ball-like thing at the end. Really nice little accessory to go with the figure, so it will be good for sim recreations and also figure adventures with this figure. And out of 10, I think this deserves a very well in 10 out of 10. Brilliant little accessory for the figure, and I'm glad they included it in the set. Okay, so now I'm going to review Sontaran Field Major Styre's pod. Yeah, it's kind of big. Anyway, yeah, very big indeed. Now, when I got this set and it arrived in the post, I knew that the pod was going to be big, but in my own eyes, it looked a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. But it is really good. You've got these squares covering all of it, and then you've got this nice star-like thing at the top where all the squares go into, and at the bottom you've got this fantastic set of boosters for it, which are made from a rubbery plastic material, but they are really good. They are covered in dirt, and they've got lots of detail, like the wires, and I think these four in the middle here haven't got anything at the end of them, so they just lead into the hollow part of the ship. And you've got these bits going all around the bit that surrounds the boosters, and even at the bottom of the main part of the pod you can see loads of bits of brown paint which are made to resemble mud, and I think it's really good that they've done this because it makes the pod seem a lot more lifelike and a bit more accurate. Now the pod door opens like so, and there you have the inside of Styre's pod. Now I am a bit disappointed by the lack of space within the pod, because you can't actually put Styre in, let alone place him on the chair. So I think the pod could have been quite a lot better if they put some more space within the pod. But it's a really nice addition to the collection. It's our first Sontaran Pod, and the door is really nice. I love the metallic green that it has, and they've got the 4 big yellow squares here. Now, an issue that I do know that Batman March pointed out in his review of the set is that there are these big black numbers at the bottom of the door. Now, I think they could have made them like these letters here, so that they did stand out a bit, but not too much, because with them being black, they do stick out really quite easily, and it just kind of doesn't make the look of the door so good. I don't know what these numbers are here for, but they are there for a purpose, I'm sure. So it would have been better if they perhaps made them blend in a bit more. Now, another thing that does stand out on the pod is the door hinge, but I don't have any problems with this because it can't be helped really, and it doesn't ruin it for me at all. I think the pod is an absolutely brilliant addition to the collection, and overall I think the Sontaran Pod is absolutely fantastic. It's really great to have a Sontaran Pod in the collection, so we can do lots of scene recreations and figure adventures with it, and I think the detail and the paintwork on it is absolutely brilliant, especially on the boosters at the bottom and the detail of the mud towards the bottom. But as I said before, I do think it would have been better if the inside had a bit more space, and perhaps if these numbers at the bottom of the door didn't stand out so much. So out of 10, I give the Sontaran Pod a very well earned 9 out of 10. A fantastic item for the figure collection, but there are a couple of issues about it which I don't really like. So that's all 3 of the reviews done for the items in this set. And overall, I think the Sontaran Experiment set is absolutely fantastic. Not only are you getting a really nice 4th Doctor variant and a fantastic new Classic Series Sontaran figure, but also a really nice Sontaran Pod to go with your Sontaran figures. And out of 10, I would give this set a very well earned 9 out of 10. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really glad that I got it. But I do think it would have been better if perhaps the 4th Doctor's tie was light green instead of brown, because it was light green in the Sontaran Experiment, and I do think the pod would have been better with some more space. But apart from that, I think this set is absolutely brilliant, and it's a great release. But apart from that, I think this set is absolutely brilliant, and I highly recommend it to any Doctor Who figure collector out there at the moment. So, thanks for watching this review, YouTubers.